G'day and welcome back to Jez Beer Reviews. Today's got a really exciting review. It's the return of a Melbourne Bitter. Now I first reviewed Melbourne Bitter about a decade ago, a long time ago, many beers ago. Back in the early days, I didn't give a really great score. Had a bit of a different scoring system then, so anyway, it is what it is. Anyway, so I had Manchester United forward Cristiano Ronaldo got in touch to me and he's like, Jez, this is the greatest beer ever. You got to read. He didn't like the score, so he wanted me to review it, and I pretty much said, yeah, if I can find a Longneck, I will. And here we go. So I found a Longneck. I actually found a Liquorland, surprising. I paid $8.50 for this 750ml bottle beer, commonly known as the Longneck. And it's 4.6% ABV. It was first created in 1936, and later that year in 1936, it got sold to CUB. And it used to be 4.9, now it's 4.6, so it's been around for a while. I remember in the 90s, my brother-in-law is a Mexican. He moved up here in the 90s, and he was drinking it. I remember that. So yeah, it's going back a long time. Anyway, so I did have Melbourne Bitter in the recent, going back in winter there, I done a video about it, like CUB beers, and I think it came pretty high in the blind tasting. I think you could do that video and get different results every time, to be honest. So let's crack it. Using CUB glass, Carlton United, Carlton Draft, sorry, which is a flagship beer of Carlton United, which these days is owned by Asahi. What doesn't Asahi own? They own a lot. But CUB, the last 10 years, since I started doing beer reviews, how many different owners have they had? They had, who was it? It was Foster's Group, and then it was Sab Miller, and that's someone else, and Asahi. Anyway, so what we got? You know, they're really Australian adjunct lager colour. It's golden, and I've got one finger of head. I really wasn't that aggressive with Longneck, but anyway, we'll sit that there. Okay, the aroma, just like its stablemates, has that. They use Pride of Ringwood hops, like most Australian adjunct lagers, or Super Pride, but I imagine it's Pride of Ringwoods. It did say they originally used Pride of Ringwoods, so it's with that Pride of Ringwood smell to it, that very common amongst all the Australian adjunct lagers. It has disappearing on me pretty quickly anyway. Okay, so that's what it smells like. Let's get in the taste. So cheers all, and cheers to what is he, the forward for Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's been dying for this review, and let's do it. Cheers. Okay, it's got a sweetness with the Pride of Ringwood flavouring from the Pride of Ringwood hop extract. Is there at the back end? It's somewhat, I think it's somewhat a bit cleaner than Victoria Bitter. Especially, I do think Longnecks are the pinnacle of drinking an Australian adjunct lager. I think Longnecks are the go. They seem to be better gassed. It just seems to taste better. I think I'm the only one with that opinion. It does have that kind of famous Australian flavour of a little bit of wet cardboard there. But it's coming from the Pride of Ringwood. They would use, I believe, cane sugar, like a Mosin. We use cane sugar here in Australia for the adjuncts. It's widely available and it's super cheap, which lightens the beer's bodies because we have really, our weather here is pretty hot and harsh. Especially when you get out of the coastal areas, it gets worse. But the dryness, the English ales never really took off because they were heavier and didn't really suit the climate, so and to save money too. So, you know, I say cane sugar is widely available and super cheap compared to barley. So they brewed a beer for the conditions, a style, and Aussies love it. Yeah, it's got a body is somewhat light to medium. Leaning back, I'd go more the light side of medium. It's in there. I think this Melbourne bitter, I think it has a following a bit like in New South Wales, our Resh's Pilsner. The Resh's beers have a very loyal following between the drinkers. Even KB, when it came back, Cold United released that again, was hugely popular. People out there buying it. So I think it does have its following, Melbourne bitter. It is on, I believe, on taps in some venues. I've got no problems with it. Pretty much does the job, and pretty much like I said, I couldn't really split them from the other CUB beers when I done that blind tasting. So comes down to perception, possibly, most likely, and also, to me, the price point's probably a bit sticking. Nearly $60 a carton up here. When you get the other ones, Cold United cheaper. Colton Draft, I keep saying Colton Draft's cheaper than this. I'd definitely drink Colton Draft. So anyway, round it up. It's nothing offensive, very drinkable. It's Australian adjunct lager. It's what your grandfather drank and your great grandfather and your dad drink it, and possibly if you don't drink seltzers or don't like taste of beer, you're probably drinking it too. So you're drinking all that Chewy's New and all that. It's all pretty much similar. So Melbourne bitter, I'm happy to say, for an Australian adjunct lager, this is a good adjunct lager. I'd recommend the Longneck. The Longneck's tasting pretty good. Not much head there, but that could just be for my using the Longneck, not really aggressive pour. Right, so big thanks to you all for watching this episode of Jez Beer Reviews. Big thanks to Manchester forward Cristiano Ronaldo for suggesting reviewing this again. And so till next time, you guys all take care, and I'll see you in another Jez Beer Reviews.